Hello everyone and welcome to my channel today. A day where I want to be like a reverse New York Times journalist. You see, the New York Times journalist tells you a story and then tells you what to think about it. I will tell you a story and then I will ask you what I should think about it. Because it's a very interesting, very emotional story, which captivated the beating hearts of Romanians everywhere. You see, during the quarantine measures that were taken last year, Romania had some very strict regulations. You weren't allowed to leave the house unless for specific government allowed reasons, such as buying food, taking care of a sick family member, and you also had to have an affidavit when you left your house. And when the cop would see you, they would be like, papers, papers, please. Can I see your papers? The fine for breaking the law was quite steep. I think Romania actually had the worst fines in the entire world, around $2,000, if I remember correctly, for breaking the quarantine. So it wasn't just like leaving your house. For one of the measures was like if you left your house and the affidavit wasn't signed or wasn't dated properly, or just the cop didn't like you. Now, with that said, there was a very interesting event where the police saw on the empty streets a man on a horse. And obviously, you see something like this, it's a little bit unusual, a little bit peculiar. And the officers wanted to go play Papers, Please with the man. Okay, everyone is staying in house, keeping themselves safe, saving the English NHS. But this man was on a horse. And when the cops went to interrogate him, they found out that his wife was about to give birth. And the man was incredibly impoverished. He lived in the ghetto. And he couldn't afford any type of transportation. And as such, he took the horse to the hospital. And the officers were moved to tears by his very interesting story and decided to take him in the police car to drive him to the hospital, okay, not to arrest him. A lot of people on the live stream, and yes, I do have a live stream channel, link is into the description. If you haven't signed up, you should consider. Were asking me, like, what happened to the horse? Well, apparently the horse was just grazing the grass as he was being left there unattended, and they found him when they returned. So now, as the story unfolds on national television, a lot of people were moved by this particular individual, and a lot of people, despite of the economic downturn and the difficulty that it is to get money in today's day and age, decided to try and help out this gentleman. Because, humanity and empathy and compassion. And I have to say, it was a very nice gesture. Right? Like, a lot of people donated. People who couldn't donate money donated food or donated clothing. They did their best. And one of the biggest donors was a man by the name of Cătălin Moroșanu. This gentleman on the right. He is nicknamed the Fear of the Carpathians. He is not a gangsta. He is a K1 fighter, very renowned. And he donated to the young father a house with utilities, electricity, water, everything, so that the young father can have a place to raise his 3 kids in. So all in all, he got around 30,000 euros from the donations, a house, clothing, food, and all was good, right? I mean, I was very moved by how compassionate Romanians were in order to try to help one. And, like, this is what the press could also do in the West if they still had a heart. Like, go around and find an individual that is in need of help and people will give to that person. I have seen several cases in the West as well when, whether it is a homeless person or someone in extreme poverty manages to reach the ears of the public, people do donate because people are nice and charitable that way. I know it doesn't fix the system, the systemic system of systemicism, but it still, has the possibility of helping an individual. Or does it? Because see, this is something really interesting. Now, initially, I thought that the story was over. But no. Turns out that last week, the young father was caught by the cops committing criminal activity. It's a little bit criminal. Why would he commit criminal? He's got 3 kids. Why? Well, turns out he was driving an expensive car without a permit. A Volkswagen Golf. The press describes the car of the people. And not only that, but turns out the man sold the house that was donated to him and lives right back into the same ghetto that he was initially found in. But he's got a luxury car now. And initially I was thinking, it's like, okay, well, look, when I moved into a new house, there's a lot of down payments you need to make on utilities, and maybe you can't afford, to pay the electricity, the gas, and all of that. No, that's not the case, because he still had money in the bank. And not only that, but the fear of the Carpathians also offered him a job, which he didn't show up, and he wasn't interested in. So I'm thinking about this, there's a lot of people who win the lottery. A couple of years ago, there was a very poor couple which won the lottery. A couple of $1 million, actually. Like, big sum. Was a big chunk. That's why it made the news. And in a couple of years, they lost it. And I know more examples of this where people lose the money that they give. They squander it. David Hogg, another example. Now, David Hogg has the ability to just snap his fingers and create a business. I can't do something like that. I just can't say, I'm going to start a pillow company, and then the pillow company exists. I will it into being. I can't. I don't have the money. But some people do, some people do have the money in order to create businesses, to have the capital to do it. And what ends up happening is that the left, when I say the left, is like the ideology which is supposed to help these people, seems to believe that just because you're rich, you're always going to be rich. But reality shows that some people just don't know what to do with the money. It's not enough to have money if the person just doesn't know what to do with it. And, David Hogg is such an example. But I think in the case of this individual, it might be something else. It might be something that my grandmother also used to have. You see, the left, the ideology which likes to help poor people, seems to believe that poor people don't want to be poor. And I don't have a study to show whether or not this is the case, but I did know a lot of poor people in my life, my grandmother included, who actually wanted to be poor. I know this sounds ridiculous, all right? The left usually, the ideology which likes to help poor, impoverished people, believes that they have been brainwashed by capitalism. And like the culture around them have brainwashed them into thinking that they should be poor. But in reality, it's the fact that they like their lifestyle and they don't want to live with excesses. So my grandmother that I kept bringing up is a good example. You see, she lost her husband very early in life. My grandfather, which was a decorated officer who survived World War II, died from cancer later on. And my grandmother was alone with 3 girls. And it was a very hard life for her. She had to chop her own wood, take care of the household by herself, didn't want to find another man. And because of that, she ended up, I can't say living in the ghetto or in poverty, but she was definitely like, let's say, upper, lower class. Now, when I was later on in life and I wanted to help her out, I even said, hey, look, I can give you some money, you can sell your house and you can buy another place. She wanted to hear none of it. Like she enjoyed the lifestyle that she had and didn't want anything more than that. And she was the type of person that when she would get something good, like let's say a neighbor would bring her some bananas, she wouldn't eat them. Like she would bring them to me, much to my annoyance, because I would be like, I can buy my own bananas. Why do you not want to enjoy life? Why do you not want to eat something that is good? Now, I know for a foreigner, the idea of having a banana, ho 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 ho. When you live in Romania, bananas do not grow here. And under communism, the ideology was that Romania needs to constantly export things and never import things. So, on the incredibly rare chance that a banana existed, it was very difficult to actually manage to get it. And when you did manage to buy it, it was green and very disgusting in taste. So, you had to actually put it in a drawer somewhere so that it can cook. Which is why my grandmother associated bananas with luxury, even though now that we're under capitalism, we can find bananas everywhere and we can eat them. But, if you're an American, you just don't know how to appreciate the smaller things in life because you didn't benefit from the multilateral developed economy that socialist Romania brought. But with that said, what I'm trying to say is that my grandmother would not have been happy had she managed to move in a more expensive place. She managed to move in a more expensive apartment. She liked her little shack and she enjoyed living there. And no amount of money would have convinced her to buy something. Like when I would give her money, do you know what she did? She would put it under the mattress, as it's called, so that it remains after she passes away. Or that she would give it back to me when she felt that it's my birthday or Christmas or something. What I'm trying to say with this is that, yeah, okay, after she passed away, she left huge amounts of cash for a woman that made a pension of $60 or $70 per month. It was only later on that she got more. Because she would constantly just hoard and hoard and hoard for decades. And what I'm trying to go with this is that there are certain people, I'm not generalizing, I'm not stereotyping, but I do know a lot of these people that enjoy living with the little that they have, and they consider it wrong to get more than they do. And then there are also people that are dumb and don't know what to do with the money, don't know how to invest it, like David Hogg, they squander it. And then there's also people like the father, which I don't even know how to describe. But like even when given opportunities and gaining the possibility of changing, they reject the change. And I don't think they reject the change because they like their lifestyle, but they probably do it because I just don't know. I don't know. Maybe you guys can help me out. This is like the reverse New York Times journal. I don't know why he did that. Like I literally don't know. I guess he just wanted the luxury car. I guess like he just wanted instant gratification. He wanted a luxury car, so I guess the ladies of the village can look at him when he drives by, even though he's not going to have money for gas for long. Like he thought that the new house where he could raise his 3 kids in isn't worth it, but a Golf Volkswagen is. And had he actually got a job, and had he actually continued an honest living, eventually he could have afforded that Volkswagen Golf by making a bank loan, right? Because the guy that offered him the job is definitely a very warm-hearted person and understood his situation. Or maybe, okay, he wouldn't have gotten the Volkswagen Golf, but he would have gotten some other brand of a car. And his children would have had a much better start in life. But what I'm trying to say, and this is the problem that I see with the left, the ideology that likes to help poor people, is that they rarely try to understand just how many people are like this. Like they don't try to categorize the mentality of different poor people, because I'm pretty sure there are a lot of poor people that would want to improve their life, and they would want such an opportunity like this guy got, and they wouldn't squander it. I'm pretty sure. But seeing just how many people who won the lottery end up being poor, or people who managed to get an inheritance and end up being poor, or people who get a lot of money, but they refuse to spend it, and they just hoard it, thinking that they're going to help their children, or they're going to help someone else when they pass away. It's a huge number of people to be ignored, and I couldn't find a single study that would at least try to break down the mindset of these people. And this is why it's interesting, because it's such a eye-opening situation when you see someone literally being given every opportunity to succeed, and they chose not to. And I don't know. I mean, I guess if I were to judge him, I would imply my bourgeoisie standards upon him, because I mean, this person always lived in the ghetto. Maybe that's how he is used to. Maybe he doesn't feel like he needs more, you know? So maybe if someone is happy with less, why should they want more, I guess, is the question. If people voluntarily want to settle with less, why do you need the Marxist that says, oh, they've been brainwashed by capitalism? Because as I mentioned before, my grandmother was brainwashed by the multilateral, economical, developed socialist Romania. So take from that what you will. But hey, let me know what you guys think. This is something that's quite fascinating in Romania right now. Everyone is talking. It's like, hey, did you hear about Sergiu? You can't go in a taxi and exchange more than 2 words with the chauffeur, because he will immediately ask you, what do you think about Sergiu? So yeah, that's what I think about Sergiu. It's puzzling, you know, but I don't know the man, so I don't understand his decisions. I'm not in his situation to be born in the ghetto and live in the ghetto to say, well, you know, maybe he just wanted a car. I've no clue. I don't know. Personally, I think that this opportunity could have been given to someone else, and they wouldn't have squandered it. But that's just me. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the comment section. And don't forget to like and share this video. If I don't ask, I don't get. So please, help me out. I'll see you later.